Well, hello and welcome. Um, Once again, as usual, we'll be going through my book, maybe someday. And as I told you last time, our next poem is one right here called Confined. Um, and so, just that reminder, or in case you're new, this book is a collection of poetry I wrote when I was 17 and 18 years old and really in a dark place in life. And writing really helped me to make sense of what I was dealing with and come out of it to a much better place and get to where I am now. And so I'm now just going through sharing my journey and the story of my book here, one poem at a time. And so this next one is called Confined. And so, as I always do, I will start by just kind of going through the poem, sharing it with you, and then afterwards, I'll go into talking about a bit more of the meaning and story behind it for me. So just get right into it. Here is Confined. I feel confined, with all these thoughts coming to life in my mind, the ideas I've designed, but not yet refined, my dreams and desires that are all kept inside, trying to burst out from this cage that they're all trapped behind. I want to let them all out and enjoy the ride. Let these seeds bear their fruits and find the secrets they hide. I can't bear to see them just rot, and I've tried to bring these thoughts to fruition, but I just can't find ways to express this expression in successful succession and get myself out of this state of depression, live the life I envision that I probably could if I just made the decision. But I can't, and I can't, and I can't, and I can't, and I can't stand to just sit here and let the walls grow thicker. Will they fall if I wait? Why won't they come down quicker? Can I say all that I want without feeling confined? I want to say all that I need without feeling confined. But I still feel confined. I feel confined, and I still can't find a way to unwind and clear out my mind. My ideas and doubts have become so intertwined, it's getting harder to tell what's wrong and what's right. I want to make art and write poems and make beautiful places to visit. I want to say things and for people to listen. I want to be a painter, a poet, an architect of the future. I want to make things and not be the only viewer. But I still feel confined. Maybe someday I'll find a way to not feel confined. So that was Confined. I hope that there was maybe something in there that you could connect to or enjoyed about it. And as always, if anything stood out to you there, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, or if anything connected to your own life or experience or anything like that. Again, I'd love to see that. So now we will get into sort of what this poem means to me and why I chose to write it, and just kind of the story behind it. So just kind of on a more general sense, the poem as a whole is kind of written about like feeling like you're incapable of achieving your dreams, like having all these dreams and goals and everything, like these hopes for yourself that just feel so out of reach and that you could never have a chance of reaching, specifically because of like I mean, it could be a variety of things, but at least for me it was mostly based on a like self-limiting kind of thing, like it was myself holding me back from reaching those dreams and things, but feeling like I still was completely incapable of overcoming that and getting to this place I wanted to be in life and becoming all these things and achieving all this stuff. And I just kind of like as I say, I felt so confined. Like um, all those dreams were just in my head and could never come into reality. So that kind of leads into the first line, or first couple of lines there, where it says like I feel confined with all these thoughts coming to life in my mind, um, and then like how they're all kept inside. Just kind of showing that like my brain is filled with all these ideas. There were all these creative things I wanted to do and big dreams for my life and all this stuff that like it felt like my mind was like bursting with color and life and ideas like deep inside. But there's like this like darker constrictive like cage within my mind around that part of my mind that kept any of that from getting out, and it felt like I was always like just like stuffed with these ideas and everything that I want to just let out and let guide my life to um, do all these great things that I could dream of. But within my mind, it was like there was, as I say in there, I think at some point, trying to burst out from this cage that they're all trapped behind. Like it really felt like my mind was holding my own mind back, and like I had no way to get past that, and so I just felt confined. Um, then there's that part about the um, like how I want to just let these seeds bear their fruits and find the secrets they hide. I can't bear to see them just rot, and I've tried to bring these thoughts to fruition, but I just can't find, and so on. Um, and I mean, firstly, there one thing I like about that is the sort of repetition of the like fruits and bear the seeds, like kind of I don't know, I don't know how to describe it, but like I that was a fun part to write for me, and how it kind of repeated those ideas of like seeds and fruit and growing stuff, and then sort of used words, same or similar words in different ways, like used bear twice with like different meanings of that same word, and then like fruit and fruition, and so yeah, that was just something I'd like to point out there that I liked. But meaning wise, there, like I was saying, there's all that stuff that was like coming to life in my mind, as I say, and it just felt like I could never act on those things, and then I would forget them and lose them, and it's like they were going to waste, like these seeds that I'm planting that'll never actually blossom into anything, never bear any fruit. They're just seeds that will go into the dirt and die before they even get a chance to sprout. And I mean, that was just a really depressing like thing for me, that um, I felt like I could do all these great things, but just was never able to actually let it happen. Um, then there's that section um, where I talk about like expressing this stuff to get myself out of the state of depression, and like of course, as I've said many times before, this was written during a really dark part of my life where I was struggling a lot with depression and stuff like that, and wanted to be able to follow these dreams and get to a happy place in life and overcome this stuff, and thought maybe if I pursued these things, it would bring more light to my life and help me. But as I say there, I just can't, and I can't, and I can't. Like, no matter how much I want to, it feels impossible to break that barrier in my own mind. Um, but at the same time, I just can't stand to sit there and let that like wall within my mind just continue to grow thicker and stronger and hold me back more and more. And um, so then that's when I question, like, will it fall if I just wait? And like all that's there, like um, starting to be like, is it better for me to just not even try to resist this? Like, if I just wait this out and suffer for now, will it eventually just solve itself? Will that wall just come down? Will I one day be free from this if I just sort of like stop fighting? Like, it felt like I was trying to push against that and break that wall down, and it just felt like it kept growing thicker and thicker the more I did. So I'm like, will it just fall if I wait? And but then kind of growing impatient because these ideas just keep coming and going, and just wasting more and more of my life stuck here, and want it to be uh, like brought down quicker, and just wanting so desperately to be able to like speak my mind and act on these dreams I have, but I still just feel confined. So then there's that part where it says, "My ideas and doubts have become so intertwined, it's getting harder to tell what is wrong and what's right." Um, and I mean, I think it kind of explains it pretty well already there, but like it was just all these great ideas I had and dreams and everything, like the positive things, were so like overwhelmed with all my doubts and fears and negative thoughts and stuff that it just kind of got spun together and so intertwined, and like sort of lost sight of what's wrong and what's right, and what my true dreams were. Sometimes I felt like I um, would get overwhelmed with these like sort of negative hopes for myself and everything, and sometimes the doubts and stuff would just become so powerful that they'd like overshadow the positive ideas and things, and make me lose sight of those even more, and just focus on the negative stuff. And again, just the more it went on, the worse it got. But I mean, still, like as I say after that, I want to do all these things. I want to make art and write poems. And at the time, I was thinking I wanted to be an architect as like my career, which later changed. But that's why I say like make beautiful places to visit, and then later like an architect of the future. But yes, like I had all these dreams and stuff, and I want to say things and for people to listen. Like I want these things that I'm thinking to actually be real in the world. I want to be able to speak these things and for people to actually hear them, and not just for them to be trapped within my own mind, just for myself. Um, and then, yeah, I want to make a difference in the world and not be the only person who sees these things that I see in my mind. I want to bring them to reality so desperately, and but still just felt confined. And so then at the end, there is another mention of maybe someday. If you didn't see like past videos where I mentioned this before, of course, my book is called Maybe Someday, Maybe Someday. And I wrote like almost everything in here before I thought of the title for it. And I chose that because when I was looking through all this stuff I wrote, I noticed that in a lot of them, I was saying maybe someday, and sometimes like slight variations of that, but the same sort of idea. But here's one of the early examples of when I said maybe someday in a poem here. And so then just, I mean, hoping that one day I won't feel so confined within my mind and will be able to speak at these things as I'm doing now. So I guess that somedays come. I mean, these things I made are now here in this book that's out there for the world, and I'm speaking about it here in this video out for you and anyone else. So, I mean, I guess I've gotten to a place where I'm no longer quite so confined. But yeah, this was like 4.5 years ago that I wrote this, and was just not at all in the same place I am now. But I think it's kind of good and interesting to look back on these times and how much I've changed and how far I've come just like over these past few years, and yeah, to a place where all these things I was saying maybe someday about are now my like today. I've reached that someday for a lot of the stuff I discuss in here, and yeah, so I appreciate you being here and being someone who can receive those things that have been confined in my mind for so long, and that if you have your own dreams and hopes and ideas and things that you want to follow in your own life, that you have or soon find a way to let that out in whatever way you want to, and are able to someday, if not today, reach those goals you have. And yeah, thank you for being here. I hope I'll see you next time for my next poem, Unfinishing Touches. And yeah, hope to see you then. And for now, just as I always say, remember that we're all broken and we're just arranging the pieces. Thank you.